Well, good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 11th of April, 2023. A day that was, interesting to say the least, and a day that I did not intend to go the way it did, but overall, it may have been a blessing in disguise. So let's talk a little bit about that. So, today on the Level 1 podcast, it was my final chance to determine what kind of a playthrough I was going to do of Elden Ring. We talked about it through the whole podcast. We did Q&A. By the end of the show, I determined I wanted to do a new game run. Not new game plus, but new game. I was going to be a glintstone sorcerer, and I was going to start from scratch, okay? As we were determining this on the podcast, we had technical issues. I had an issue where I could not get pop-up animations to work for contributions. They just died. And it was weird because, man, I was trying everything and nothing would get them to work, but they did work in the website where they were generated. So it wasn't that the site was broken or not working. It wasn't like I got blocked from using them. They just wouldn't work in OBS. It was very confusing, and I was just shaking my head. I have no idea what happened here. So as I'm, doing the podcast and we're determining this, I said, oh, there's a button here that says, like, refresh your cache. So I clicked it on the animation, and then the animations worked. And I was like, I must have solved the problem. I don't know what happened here, but cool. I solved the problem, right? So then we did our stream. It was the Return to Elden Ring, a fresh new game run, Glintstone Sorcerer. 3 hours, okay? Got pretty far. We did not do everything. We skipped a ton of optional stuff. The optional dragon boss, didn't do that. The optional tree knight or whatever it's called, tree sentinel, we didn't do that. We basically ran around and people gave me some clues. They said, use the teleportation chest, get over to Caelid. There's a good bunch of stuff for a Glintstone Sorcerer right there if you can get it and get out. I did. And we came back and we went south. We grabbed some of the upgrade items so that my flask would be better. We got our first Physic Flask tiers. Went over to that church, got the Physic Flask, so now we can use it. And then we went to the castle. Went right up to, what's his name? Not Moog. Not, the first major boss, whose name, he's not the real boss. He comes later in the Imperial City. This is the one that you fight, and he's supposed to be like his astral projection or something. Man, I cannot remember his name right now. Margit? Whatever his name is. He's basically the first hard boss of the game. And I died a few times to him, but beat him relatively quickly. Then we ran out of time. So that was the end of the stream. And I'll be honest, I got a little frustrated, and here's why. Sadly, we got people who are just never satisfied, and they want to try to make my life a living hell. So they sit there in the stream, and because I decided to do new game rather than new game plus, which is what they wanted, they sit there and they're bitching and they're complaining and they're moaning. Oh, this isn't fun. Oh, why is he going south to get the sacred tier cups? He doesn't need that. Yes, I do. If you don't get that, your healing is worthless for the rest of the game. You need those early game or else you're nerfing yourself. And they're sitting there and they're complaining and whining, and I had enough. And I laid down the law. I was like, if you're just going to sit here and bitch, just don't come back. Leave now and don't come back. I don't need people to be here to be toxic and negative in the stream. This isn't your stream. We talked about 50-50. What's better, new game plus or regular new game? I picked a new game because it seems a lot of people wanted that. Seems like it'll be more interesting than me turboing through, and more challenging. And some people just aren't happy with that, and there's nothing I can do. I can't please everyone all the time, but I can't let people sit on my stream and be toxic idiots. So I laid down the law, and a lot of them kind of quieted down and shut up, which was nice. So overall, we made great progress in that first stream, okay? And overall, no real complaints. Support was all right. It could have been better for the first stream, but it was all right, I think it was like last minute someone came in with like a very large tip, which was very nice of them. So then the late stream tonight was supposed to be like a Dragonishin, okay? I was down for that. I come to the office, I turn everything on, and as I'm getting set up, OBS forces an update. I didn't tell it to do it. It just did it. And I was like, OBS, so you don't know, is my streaming software. It just, everything changed. My menu changed. It added new options to the menu and stuff that I had never even seen before. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, why is it doing that? I didn't tell it to update. I'm completely confused as to what has happened. And what ends up happening is, it resets all of my settings. All of them. All the encoding quality settings, how to encode, how to stream. It redid the whole way you stream on YouTube. There's a whole new menu system now. Like it used to be, you would go there and you would put in your name, your password, and a stream key. And then you would stream. Now you don't even need that anymore. Now you use OBS to like log into YouTube itself, and it streams directly to the site. It's really weird and different. I've never seen it like this before, but now I got to get used to it. It's going to be actually difficult now for me to jump between DSPGaming and DSP Reacts, because it's going to try to log in through my browser, but my browser's default to certain, like one browser I use for DSPGaming. One browser I have used for DSP Reacts. I have them set up separately, so I don't have to keep redoing the setup every time I stream. Now I got to like jump between and get it to work right. It's going to be a pain. I really would have preferred not to do this update, being honest. But OBS forced me. I don't know why they forced my hand, but they just did it out of nowhere. I didn't even approve it. So they updated, and then what ended up happening was not only are all my settings wrong, but now the pop-up messages don't work again, and I had just fixed them in the morning. So I announced to everyone, guys, I'm sorry, but everything's screwed up. We definitely cannot do a Like a Dragon stream tonight. There's no way I could do 2 hours of story for you guys. We're in the end game. You know, this is kind of ruining the stream, so let's not do that. Let's just try to do a stream where we fix this. So for an hour, we just tweaked everything. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have an important and positive announcement to make. You ready for this? For the entirety of the time that I've done direct capture and live streaming, I've always put all of the load of that processing on my CPU. The reason being is because almost 10 years ago, when I got this computer, the setup was not really made to do the GPU encoding. There was different ways to do it, like something called shadow play or something like that. And I never messed with that. I tried it, and the file sizes were ginormous, and I was like, it's just not there. So I never bothered with it. I always just did everything on the CPU. Now, you may have noticed over the years, I always have issues with frame rate droppage. When I'm in the middle of action of a game, and there's a lot going on, all of a sudden the frame rate will stutter. And that's always been a result of me streaming and recording using my GPU, okay? Excuse me, my CPU. Never using the GPU. I've always used my processor in my computer to do it. Okay. However, in the last year, I made some updates. I updated my OBS. I updated the drivers on my graphics card. And changing all this configuration around, I actually noticed a way in OBS that says you can use your graphics card to encode now. And I was like, well, I've never done this before. I wonder if it would work. Now, I've talked with a couple people behind the scenes who know a little bit about it and have urged me on. Say, hey, Phil, one night, you should just try it. Just see what happens. Well, if there was a perfect night to do it, it was tonight. Because tonight things weren't working anyway. So I said, you know what, guys? While we're in the midst of fixing the encoding quality and fixing all the things that fucked up, let's actually see if we can do GPU encoding. So I switched it over, and I said, let's try to stream and record on the GPU. I tried it. The stream worked beautifully, but as soon as I hit record, the whole thing crapped out. So doing everything just on the GPU is not powerful enough to do it, okay? So I said, instead of that, let's try something different. Let's split the processing load. Let's have the stream go only on the GPU, and let's have the on-demand video that I'm recording for YouTube go on to the CPU. I split it. I stayed at the same quality, which is 9,000 kilobits per second, so I kept it at that. I split it. I turned it on. It worked beautifully. I don't think we had many or any frame drop. Maybe a couple frame drops here or there, but for the most part, the CPU usage was down to only something like 25 to 30%, and it used to be upwards of 80 to 90%, and it went all the way down to 20 to 30%. The stream, people told me the stream looked gorgeous. They're like, there's no problems with that stream at all. It looked smooth. In fact, people were like, that actually looked smoother than usual, okay? So people were impressed, and I said, well, we changed all these settings. So we got it now running half GPU, half CPU. I changed all this. By the way, we got the pop-up messages working again because we found out what happened was when OBS updated, there's a default setting. It's very weird. It's in the advanced settings, and it says, use hardware acceleration when doing your browser plugin. I don't even know what hardware acceleration would do for a browser animation, but those animations that you see for pop-ups, those are browser-style animations. They're played right through a web browser implemented into OBS. So this had happened before, and we found it was actually HoboX. Remember that months ago I had the same issue. If you uncheck that box, it fixes it. So I did it. So that fixed the animation issue. Now we're splitting between GPU and CPU. I was like, this is great. We potentially just improved my setup. So I said, well, how much time do we have? We had about an hour left. So with an hour left, we don't have a lot going on. What should we do? All right, you know what we'll do? We'll play Elden Ring. Because I started Elden Ring earlier today. It's not fair to do only half of a stream of Like a Dragon Ishin. Instead, we'll postpone that stream until I get back from break on Thursday. Let's just do a random hour of Elden Ring tonight. So I did. And ladies and gentlemen, number one, I had a great run. I was playing Elden Ring tonight. I explored the castle. I didn't do everything, but I did a lot. We got to Godric. Yes, we got to Godric, and we fought Godric. I will not spoil how that went. I want you to check out the video. Because the other half is, the stream apparently looked gorgeous, and I just went back and watched the video, and it looks really good. But here's the thing. I think now, because I'm splitting that processing load between the graphical processing unit and the central processing unit, I can now up the bitrate. So when I stream again, in fact, this video I'm recording right now is 12,000 kilobits per second. I have never streamed or recorded at this quality before. I'm curious. I'm going to watch this video back for myself after this is done and see what it looks like. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of the quality of the Elden Ring video. It's part 4 from tonight. And let me know what you think of the quality of this video. Starting Thursday, I'm going to attempt to stream and record at 12,000 kilobits. That's a 3,000 kilobit, a 25% increase, actually a 30% increase, 33% increase from what I used to do. We might see less frame drops. We might see more smooth animations, more detail, no blurriness. This is great because I'm splitting the processing load. I may have a dramatic improvement to how my videos look now and my streams. So this is great. It was a blessing in disguise because, man, things were going south. Things weren't going well. I was like, this sucks. Now what's going to happen? But we fixed everything, and now maybe even have a dramatic improvement. So I'm pleased. Seriously, I am very pleased with how tonight went. Please watch and enjoy, and let me know what you think. All right? I'm off from streaming tomorrow. I return on Thursday. First stream will be the Level 1 podcast telling you about my day off. And then it's going to be the continuation of Silent Hill 3. We have beaten the subway level and are heading into the better parts of the game. I hope you'll be here for that. And then Thursday night will be Like a Dragon Ishin. Originally it was supposed to be tonight, but since we didn't do it tonight, Like a Dragon Ishin Thursday night. That means Friday will be Elden Ring and Oblivion. That means Saturday will be DSP versus the Internet and Like a Dragon Ishin. Probably the conclusion at that point. Sunday will be more Sunday will be more Silent Hill 3 and Oblivion. Monday, more Elden Ring, and I think Monday night I'm going to do a random tier maker stream where we sit here and we do 2 tier maker rankings live, probably over on DSP Reacts, of various things. We'll talk about it over the week, see what you guys want. And then Tuesday, again, probably either more Silent Hill 3 or Elden Ring and probably more Oblivion. That's the streaming week. Now, also, just so you guys know, the poll is live over on DSP Reacts. If you're a channel member, you're going to vote on 3 different YouTube channels, one of which will be the long-form React event on the end of April. And the choices are Internet Historian, Defunct Land, or Low Spec Gamer. Give them a look. Please check them out. See what you think about those YouTube channels, and then vote. And whatever comes out the winner at the end of the week, then we're going to go to those channels and figure out what videos on those channels I'm going to react to. So a different kind of long-form react, not drama shit this month. Something interesting and more definitely more positive and more informative. So, okay? All right, guys. Thank you all. What a great streaming week. And seriously, today took disaster and turned it into gold. I think my streams might actually look much better moving forward, as well as the on-demand videos. Give me your feedback on what you think tonight, and we start anew on Thursday with the 12,000 kilobits per second, and hopefully that they work out well and things will just look better moving forward. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Guys, thank you so very much. Please have a good evening. Please have a good day off tomorrow. If you watch anything on DSP Gaming, remember, please give it a like or leave a comment. That helps for engagement. Same thing on DSP Reacts. Any content over there, please like it and leave a comment as well, and I'll be back Thursday. Have a good night, my friends. See you later.